Let's talk about power, privilege, and accountability. Sean Puffy Combs, big mogul record executive, holds the key to so many people's future careers. Power dynamics in the hospital, right? Attendings abusing power over residents, residents abusing other residents who are lower than them, hospitals covering up certain things, right? The culture of silence and complicity.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The whistleblowing. You don't see that in medicine either.
People feel like their careers are on the line. Number one. Number two, people don't want to be that doctor. There is definitely complicity in medicine.
Yo, what's good, everybody? You are listening to Docs Outside the Box. This is the podcast for physicians who think differently. Just listen. I'm Dr. Nee, trauma surgeon, former locum doc, and host of this show since 2016. Over the years, we've talked to everyone from multi-millionaire physician investors to med students who said no to burnout before it started. This isn't just career advice. It's your blueprint for personal and professional freedom in medicine. Get up for ChatGPT. ChatGPT. Yo, ChatGPT is scary as hell. That's an intro
But
from
it said
ChatGPT.
former locum stock.
Did it say that? You see, that's what I'm saying. So for all you med students, college students
So
who
you're
are
not
writing,
a locum stock anymore?
but what I'm saying is ChatGPT is scary.
Yes.
And by anybody who's listening, this is the beginning of Skynet. Yes, it is. But
Was that from Vanilla Sky? What was that from Skynet?
the Terminator.
Terminator.
Yeah, so ChatGPT is scary. It is very useful, but it makes a lot of mistakes, as you can tell by there. But I just do that because I be playing around with ChatGPT and I want to see what it can do. But obviously, if it says former locum doc, that's incorrect. I am a current locum doc, and it left you out. So, Dr. Renee, tell them who you are.
I'm just Renee. That's what ChatGPT said. It's just Renee. Don't pay her no mind. She ain't nobody.
It's really right about those things. You know,
That ain't nobody.
you're just really right about those things. Yo, before we jump into this, because we're going to talk about some real talk, but let me give a shout out to the new residents out there, those who started July 1st.
Ooh, yeah, I forgot about that.
This episode is going to be coming out several weeks after they have started. For non-medical people, all the new teaching hospitals, the new residents, people who just graduated from medical school, people who just got kicked out of their other residencies and just found a residency, they all starting on July 1st.
Yes.
Okay, so there's always this notion of, you need to avoid the hospital in July because, you got a bunch of new doctors who don't know what the hell they're doing, who going to be taking care of you. Is that true?
I don't think it's true.
But
I do say it.
Would you be concerned if you got seen first by a new intern resident?
I was concerned when I was a new intern seeing new patients.
Really?
Oh my God. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Where am I supposed to write my note? What am I don't know.
This is July 10th right now. That's when we're recording this. I don't know when this is going to go out. So this is like 10 days in now. So by now they know how to write a note. They've been schooled on how to write a note.
Yeah.
Although I have to be honest, after, some of the locums positions that I've taken recently, I've worked with residents, and I have to say something like the senior residents and even some of the attendings, y'all don't know how to properly train residents to write notes, to properly present. Nobody does soap note discussions rounds anymore. I think that's a disservice. I'll leave it at that.
Subjective.
You think so?
Objective. Assessment.
Oh, yeah.
Plan.
Do you so when you hear from residents, I don't know.
I haven't worked with residents in years.
Do you prefer to hear from residents like that?
In the soap form?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to perform. That's the best way to present. Simple, straight to the point.
Yeah.
I think when you don't
But
let
you're
them...
not at an academic... You are not at an academic center. You're not even at a community center that does academic medicine, right?
Who, me?
Yeah.
One of the places that I was at was an academic center. And, either way, they had residents there. So just having residents there makes it academic. I'm not talking about where you were at. I'm talking about where I was at.
Right.
And I still think that whether it's a community-based program or academic-based program, presenting for medical students and for residents, presenting in a soap format lets me know it's not just because I went through it, I want you to perform, but I think that is the best way to organize your thoughts as to what you're going to do, what happened to this patient, what are the objectives on this patient, and what's the plan? Like, what's the plan for this guy or for this woman? Like, what is it? But a lot of times I see residents, they'll just be like, yeah, nothing happened overnight. And I'm like, so what's the Tmax? Like, what's the temperature? What's the blood pressure? And they're like, it's like, well, so you're considering taking care of this patient. You're making this plan that is half-assed and is based off of yesterday's plan, and you don't know what you want to do. That's how I feel.
Well, if they don't know what they want to do, depending on the level of resident that they are, then yes, that can be a problem, right? An intern, I don't always expect an intern to know what to do. Mm-hmm. Second year, depending on the case, I may or may not expect them to know what to do. There are things that I absolutely are like, yeah, no, a second year should know. And then there are other things that I'm like, okay, this is a little bit above the, the pay grade, if you will, of a second year. Maybe they don't know what to come next. By the time you hit like third and fourth year, you pretty much should have solidified, kind of what to do. Even if it's not like the best plan, it should be a plan.
But that's what I'm saying.
Give me a plan.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you expect the third year and a fourth year to be able to write SOAP notes, right? We all know that we're going to disregard their note, right? Because they're medical students. You should, right? This is a medical student note. This does not count.
No, I'm talking about resident.
But that's what I'm saying. A third year, fourth year knows less than an intern.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So if you disregard a third and fourth year student, but you note, but you expect them to write a plan,
right?
I expect an intern to make a plan.
Right.
I expect the second year to make a plan. And then I expect damn near senior residents to make a plan. Mm-hmm. But either way, like, a plan is not a plan is not a plan. What I mean by that is just because the intern makes a plan doesn't mean that that's the plan.
That's the plan.
But I need you to be thinking about a plan.
Right. Yeah. Give me a plan.
Not the plan. Man. The plan is not presenting. And that's what I think they think it is.
What's the plan, man?
The plan is, let me get some information and then say, well, what do you want to do next?
Don't you think though that it's so when you're a medical student, right? When you're a medical student, you make a plan. You know your plan is going to get disregarded.
Yes.
You're just like, whatever. I'll just put everything.
Yeah.
Get labs. Whatever. Mm-hmm. Right? It's going to get it's going to get disregarded.
Yes, it should.
It's going to. But now when you're in the hot seat as a resident and okay, well, now my plan is actually not going to be disregarded. Do you think that adds an extra pressure on people that makes people kind of choke up a little bit and go, I don't know if I want to say this plan because this might be the plan. This actually might be the plan. So and it's scary now. So
this is why I started off talking about ChatGPT, right? There are a lot of professors, there are a lot of schools that are having problems. Even the high school that I went to, St. Benedict's, right? The greatest high school out there in the world, guys. St. Benedict's Prep, Newark, New Jersey. You need to check it out. But even they are talking about, from a high school standpoint, AI is taking over everything. Mm-hmm. What these students don't know, whether it's high school all the way up to college, is they're doing themselves a disservice. You're not doing the work of figuring out how to read the book. You're looking for the Cliff Notes version of something, right? Like, what did we say to people who read the Cliff Notes version? Like, it's the Cosby Show example, right? Of Cockroach and Theo doing Shakespeare.
Great Caesar's ghost, the great Caesar's ghost. He's chilly low from coast to coast. The great Caesar's ghost, the great Caesar's ghost.
Like, yeah, you're getting the Cliff Notes version, but you don't really understand the essence of what's happening. Right. So when it's time for you to write your own essay, you don't know how to do it because you've never exercised that brain. Right. So it's the same thing with students who are using ChatGPT to write plans. Some even use ChatGPT to write SOAP notes. Mm-hmm. Some people like lawyers or law students are using ChatGPT to write their law briefs. Mm-hmm. But when it comes down to actually doing it for real without the use of AI, they don't know how to do it.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying.
To have the academic discussion.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're at a point where you are a third year, fourth year resident and you get choked up and nervous, well, that's because you didn't exercise that muscle before. That's all I'm saying, right? Like, you should have been presenting your third year as a third year med school, fourth year med school, first, second, and third year. Like, sometimes you'll have an asshole type of attending and you might be nervous in front of them, right? I get that. Or maybe it's grand rounds and they may have invited like an attending from like some prestigious place. So you're going to be a little bit nervous, but you at that point understand the essence of how to present. You know what? They're taking shortcuts. And I think now it's like, well, no, I need you to do it in a soap note fashion and stop reading your notes. What happened overnight? What'd the nurse say? What's the vitals? Right? And then what's your exam on the patient?
Oh, well, exam, that's a whole different story.
And then can I have an assessment? And then can I have a plan? Even if I tear it to shreds, I respect you more that you made up something and just said, yeah, I'm gonna get more labs and then I'm gonna talk
more
to
labs.
Like, make a plan.
More CBCs.
So I think like if you don't exercise that muscle, yeah, by the time you get to when it really counts, it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
We talk about that even in investing.
I mean,
if you don't invest go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, are attendings are all attendings examining patients?
I don't know. I don't know. That's a tough one, man. I ain't trying to call y'all out. I examine all my patients.
I examine my patients.
All of my. I have physician assistants who work with me and nurse practitioners who work with me, and they have said to me they get upset because I'm on rounds with them.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sorry, but listen.
How do I know this patient has a heart?
I trust you, but I don't really. I tell them this all the time. Like, it's very rare that you'll hear me.
The Rance McLean, what do you call that? Dictum.
What does he say?
Never trust anyone's assessment but your own.
Yeah, it starts with another R word.
Doctor.
I don't quote Republicans much, but a famous Republican president, Ronald Reagan, said, "Trust but verify." When talking to, I think he was talking to Gorbachev, right? Trust but verify. So I trust you, but I'm gonna check myself.
I'm just check.
Yeah.
I'm just check.
But I don't. That's the one thing I love my PAs, but I don't understand why they get frustrated about that. I just don't understand that at all.
Well, it's probably because other attendings are not examining.
I know, but so you would want
feel like no, because right, if that becomes the norm, they might feel like, well, the others are not examining because they trust my exam. You are examining because you don't trust my exam. When the truth could actually be, the other ones are not examining because they just not doing their due diligence.
And it's not that I don't trust your exam. The question is, should I trust someone else's exam? That's all it comes down to. Mm-hmm. And that's why I tell them, like, y'all are taking this thing way too seriously. And you guys are you're centering yourself. I even see it with residents, like, you're centering yourself way too much, right? Like, you're making yourself the priority way too much, right? Like, I need to be checking because I need to be checking. That's what's good for the patient. Not because I'm double checking you. Like, take yourself out of this picture. This has nothing to do with you. Yeah. This has to do with making sure that this patient has really good outcomes. You did a great job. I'm sure you did. I'm checking just for myself. I won't take it personal.
I mean, I've checked patients, for example, right? We see this a lot in OB, right? Because nurses, OB
and I love my PAs. Y'all the bomb, yo. Y'all good. Y'all good.
OB nurses do a lot of patient assessments, right? They do pretty much many of the same assessments that we would do on patients as physicians. So, for example, cervical exams, right? I mean, you have OB nurses who've been working for 30 years who've done, OB cervical exams on patients. But if the nurse says, she's fully dilated, I mean, unless I see that baby crowning.
Oh, that's a good question.
I'm checking.
So you do double check the nurses?
Usually, yeah. If it doesn't make a difference, then I'm just like, whatever.
And I'm just asking because I don't understand that, because I know you guys trust them a lot for a lot.
Yes. If it's not going to make a difference, I don't subject because remember, we're also doing vaginal exams, right? If it's not going to make a difference, then I don't necessarily double check, right? And there are a few times when I'm like, this is not going to make a difference, right? So in that realm, one, you're subjecting a person to vaginal exams. So that already is kind of a little bit of a sensitive area, but you do the vaginal exam if you have to do it, right? Like, we don't, as OBs, we don't shy away from if a vaginal exam needs to be done, it just needs to be done. But two, we also have the extra added thing of if a person's water is broken, right? If she's ruptured, right? She has ruptured membranes. Do you want to keep doing multiple exams on her because now you're potentially putting her at risk for infection, right? Intrauterine infection, right? So you have to just be careful with that. So there are times when the nurse will check, and depending on the nurse also, there are times when the nurse checks and I go, it's fine. It's okay. I'm not going to check her anyway because maybe I checked her before and she was progressing just fine. I can see the contraction pattern and I can trust that exam. But I am going to check later.
That's understood.
We're going to check later.
That's understood.
Yeah.
All right.
But, yeah.
Well, let's...
Are ER docs doing vaginal exams? Tell the truth now.
Yeah, don't...
Tell the truth now.
We got some ER friends.
Well, I will tell you,
there's a civil war going on out here. No one is safe from. It's just like, yo.
My ER doc friend, she does do exams. Notice I said she does do exams.
How you know she does exams? You've never seen her clinically do it or not? Why you I don't understand this.
Because she does examine her patients.
How do you know?
Because I believe her.
Okay, let's move on.
What do you mean? So I'm not supposed to believe her? I'm not supposed to believe her.
Have you seen her do it?
Am I not supposed to
How about
believe
this?
her?
If she gave you a referral form, could you fill it out?
What does that mean?
Like, you know how like she's looking for like a new job and she needs like a reference, a clinical reference.
How do I know that the ER doc who calls me downstairs?
I'm talking about. Don't change the goalposts.
That's not a goalpost.
You guys see how she's trying to change the goalposts?
No, how do I know? You're saying that I shouldn't believe her.
I'm gonna keep her right here.
Are you saying that I shouldn't believe her?
I didn't say that. I just said that. Are you willing to put on a clinical reference form?
You're asking me how
that you
I
know
know
what's going
she
on?
does, and I said that because she told me.
And shout out to our friend. She's good. But
how do you know she's good? Was she ever your ER?
No, I said we good. Like I don't know how she performs clinically.
Okay.
Just like any of our friends, they don't know how we perform clinically. I don't know. I'm not willing to say that. Nope.
Yeah, okay.
I love y'all though, but you know.
Now you potting for real.
I'm not potting.
Yes, you are. You're such a Potter, yo. You're a Harry Potter.
Let's talk about Diddy.
A hairless Potter.
Let's talk about Diddy. All right. Let's talk about power, privilege, and accountability.
We're going to be talking about that?
Mm-hmm. Guys, it's July 10th. By now, we've already known that P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Puffy Combs, all the different names, he's been found guilty, I think, of prostitution. And then they tried to get him on RICO, even though it was just one person on RICO.
Suave.
It didn't work. So we're going to find out if, how many years he's going to face for prostitution, which I can't see him facing that many years for prostitution unless the judge tries to pull like an OJ, and try to send a message via another type of thing. So I don't know how this is going to work out, but without getting into too much of the specifics, everybody's heard about the Diddy trial, right? Everybody's heard if you haven't, then just go look it up. We're not going to talk about the specifics of this, but the reason I want to talk about that is like how this relates to doctors, how this relates to medicine, because in many ways the parallels are there.
What do you mean?
So the parallels are there because I kept some notes, right?
You always keeping notes.
Because if I don't write it down, it just drives me nuts. It puts me in a loop. You know what I'm saying? That I think about things over and over and over again. And you saw what happened to me earlier today, right? If I don't write things down.
I see.
Right? You see.
Yeah.
You see.
I see.
So the big thing that I think about is power dynamics, right? We heard this during the trial, right? Big mogul, record executive, holds the key to so many people's future careers. He's made so many hits, so many major albums. He's put out so many different people. Obviously, he knows what it takes to get people to the next level, right?
Yes.
So he can make or break people's career, which sounds like he's made a bunch of people's career and he has broken a lot of people's career and he's blown up excuse me. I'm not going to have Diddy come after me, but let's talk about that, right? Power dynamics in that realm, power dynamics in the hospital, right? Attendings abusing power over residents abusing other residents who are lower than them, hospitals covering up certain things, right? Fraud, maybe, bad, what's the best way I could say? Bad behavior.
Bad behaviors,
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
How about this? This is going to make you think even more. I got another note. The culture of silence and complicity.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right?
I mean, we kind of talked about that
so many
last
people,
time.
so many people aware of what Diddy was doing, but because he's signing them checks,
It's kind of like, is your attending taking Ambien on
Right.
call? Is anybody going to say anything about it? We talked about this. Yeah.
Over the last 5 years since 2020, we were talking about what is that? Not me. Is it what's the name of the thing?
Me too.
Me too. Excuse me.
Come on, not me.
It's been 5 years, guys. It's been 5 years.
That's a call and response. Me too, not me.
It's been 5 years.
That's what the man
Right.
was saying.
But
Oh, knee.
we've seen a good amount of cases in entertainment, right?
Yeah.
Like that's fairly recent, and I think it's safe to say that probably Puff Daddy's the last person that this will come up with. Right?
No,
I
it's
think,
not. Absolutely
You
not.
sure?
Nee.
You sure?
Nee. As long as there are people in the world like Diddy, there will always be something upcoming. And Diddy is not the last person
you
in the
sure?
world. Yes.
I think this might be it.
Why?
I think this might be. I think people
I
are
don't think
starting.
this is
I think
it.
people are getting tired of it. Right.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. I think like the lawsuits and the public shaming. I think that stuff is. It waxes and wanes. I think we're in the waning stage. But the reason why I'm mentioning the silence and complicity is the whistleblowing.
Yes.
The lack of whistleblowing. You don't see that in medicine either.
Yeah, you don't see too much whistleblowing in medicine, because people feel like their careers are on the line. Number one. Number two, people don't want to be that doctor, right? Like they don't want to be that person. You know, they just don't. Yeah, there is definitely complicity in medicine. Absolutely.
You know, it makes me think about. Remember, was it last year when we talked about the OB doc, the famed OB doc who was at a conference and he got attacked by
the husband
by
of
a husband of a
former resident.
Right? Like,
Yes.
you think about those things, it's like this stuff doesn't happen randomly, guys. Right? Mm-hmm. Now, we don't know the specifics. We don't condone justice. Or excuse me, we don't condone violence. Excuse me.
You don't control justice, me?
You know where I'm going with this.
Yes.
You know what I mean.
Yes.
Don't mock me.
I'll mock you. I'll mock you.
You don't know where that's from. But it's this stuff is not like where there's smoke there's fire. I oftentimes say that.
Yeah, you do say that.
You know, so he did something. I'll leave it to you like that.
Well, definitely something was done.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think one thing that I would always want to talk about, and I would love for the audience to write back, is trauma, like the mental trauma, like the PTSD that occurs in like high functioning individuals like ourselves, right? Like there's a lot of things that are unsaid, right? Like Kid Cudi got his car set on fire. His house got broken into and all of his Christmas gifts got opened. He had a security alarm system that was on and that stuff got turned off without any like how did you turn my stuff off without a code? And basically we all look at it as that's a message of I can get into your house.
Yeah, I have access to you at any point in time.
I have access to you. I don't necessarily have to cause major damage.
Yeah, but I can cause psychological damage.
In essence, stay away from my wife. Or stay away from my girlfriend, because the notion was Cassie was dating Kid Cudi and then Diddy got aware of it. And so it's just like...
Yeah.
But he's still putting out records. I'm talking about Kid Cudi. He's putting out records. People don't see that side. They just see the side that's putting out music, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm talking about. Like you're still like putting things out at a clip. You're still operating at a clip. You're still doing great things. But in the like all this stuff that's happening behind closed door, like there's a lot.
So do you think that...
Like, could you be too successful to struggle?
No, so... I'm going to ask a similar question. I don't think that you can be too successful to struggle, right? Because that is obvious because we've seen so many successful people struggle. But do you think that at some point people think the struggle is worth all of the trauma that they're going through and that they're actively going through, right? Like, is it worth it for me to go through the mental stress of knowing that someone essentially sent me a message that they could kill me at any point in time, but it's okay because I'm putting out these records.
Okay, so you still talking about the records thing? I thought
Yeah.
you was. I was like, wait, hold on, what?
No, that's what I'm saying. But we see that in residency, right? It's worth the mental trauma to go through all of this, whatever, especially if you're talking about bullying by either attendings or by more senior residents. It's worth it because at the end, I'm going to have finished this residency program. And so people, unfortunately, right? Fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know which, I would say unfortunately, because nobody should go through trauma, right? They go through all of this so that they can earn what it is that they want to earn at the end, right? There is a prize at the end, and the prize, the question becomes, is it worth it? While they're going through it in that time, many people think that the prize is worth it. Now, my question is hindsight, right? After you've been an attending, you've gone through all the burnout, you did this, you did that, you're seeing all of these things. When you think back to your residency, the question is, do you still think it was worth it? That's what I'd like to know from the audience. Are there people out there who are like, nah, it actually wasn't worth me going through?
If you're listening right now and you want to write that in, go and check out the links on our show notes or the description, the show description, because there you can leave a voice message or you could even leave us a text. And if you want us to share it on the show, we will. If you want us to, answer that or read it on the show, we will.
It could be anonymous if you want, but yeah.
That's a difficult question, but that's not a foreign thing that is, like, I'd probably say 20 years ago, people wouldn't be willing to talk about that, but we actually saw that on the TV show. We saw that on the TV show Blackish, where Rainbow, she's the main character's
First
wife.
Traps.
She's an anesthesiologist, and she brings along her son's girlfriend to come and shadow her, in essence.
Yeah.
Right? And she's talking about her career as an anesthesiologist, but she's like telling story after story after story of all these different microaggressions for many different reasons, right? Like, sleeping all night and having to perform in the morning, not eating, like a whole bunch of different just whatever, the worst of the worst. And she's
being
like
bullied.
Yeah.
All
you
kinds
say
of
the
things.
specifics.
Yeah.
Right? But she's basically saying, Bo is basically saying, despite all of that, I survived, I rise, and here I am. And the best part about that show was her son's girlfriend saying, yeah, no, I'm out. I don't want this.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, she still thinks it's worth it. Or, she's putting it out there that it's worth it.
Yes.
Internally,
but
the girlfriend is like, yeah, this is not worth it.
That's not worth. What you just described to me is not worth what I'm going to get at the end.
Yeah.
So that's what she ends up deciding. But, many people don't decide that. And that was kind of Bo's thing. Bo was like, no, like for her, it was worth it. Even in hindsight, it was worth it. But what was funny about that was the hindsight question still did come into question because there was a reckoning for Bo that, wait, did I experience trauma?
Yeah.
Right? Did I compartmentalize this trauma so much because I saw this, this finish line, and I think many of us do. We compartmentalize the trauma because we just got to get to the finish line. You hit the wall, but you still got to keep running down that straightaway because you're going to get to that finish line. You're going to finish this race.
I want to share, I wrote some stuff down that I want to share that is in the gray zone of what to do. Because I think when you talk about residents or when you talk about a surgeon who throws, equipment, that's black and white. When you talk about some of these other examples we talked about earlier, it's black and white. But what about a surgeon who bullies residents but brings in millions for the hospital?
I don't give a damn about it. What that got to do with me? What that got to do with me? Personally, me, I don't give a damn about that. I really don't. I don't. For me, I don't think that's a gray zone issue. I think that's actually somebody buying.
So you don't like my notes?
No. I think that's somebody buying their right to traumatize. I'm going to tell you a quick story. I just
are they
told
really
the story.
buying there?
Yes.
Or is
I'm
the
telling
hospital?
I'm telling you
is
right
it more
now.
in the hospital's fault?
No, I'm telling you, people do this. People do this. So I was working at a hospital. I just told this story this weekend. I was working at a hospital where a new OBGYN had joined our practice. Now, he was an older OBGYN. He did mostly gynecology. Our practice was very heavy OB, so I wasn't sure why he had even joined the practice, because I was like...
Hey, Alfred, put a disclaimer on the bottom of the screen. Like,
What's the disclaimer?
Like, all the characterizations of this show has been dramatized for certain reason, purposes, and stuff
Well,
like
I'm
that.
not mentioning anybody's name.
I'm just saying, though, maybe we should do that.
Anyway, he came into the practice, and let's say he came in on a Monday. By Thursday, he bought the entire office a catered lunch from Olive Garden. And when I walked into the break room and I saw the catered lunch, I was like, I'm not eating that, because I know a red flag when I see one.
But it had breadsticks?
It had breadsticks.
You ain't want none of that breadsticks?
No.
You crazy. Olive Garden breadsticks?
So
What about the salad?
No. I don't know if he had salad. So I was like, I'm not eating that.
The chocolate?
Now, I was off
Hold
the
on.
next day.
The chocolate is really good. You crazy. I would have ate that.
What chocolate? At the end?
Yeah, there's usually chocolate at the end.
Okay. I don't know if they had chocolate at the end. Can I tell a story?
So you didn't take one breadstick?
Oh, my God. So I was off the next day. When I'm off the next day, I get a text from one of the staff members.
Like Olive Garden
Dr.
sticks.
So-and-so is being a bear, meaning he's being very mean and aggressive. And I text back to her, that's how much it costs.
For them breadsticks.
Exactly. That's what it costs for you to eat Olive Garden. To let her know, this mug was buying his ability to be mean to everybody. Because if I buy you Olive Garden and then I'm mean to you, then why'd you eat my Olive Garden if you want to now come and tell me that I was mean? I wasn't mean when you was eating my Olive Garden. I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? He hadn't known the practice from a hole in the wall. And within 3-4 days, he was already giving a treat. And I'm like, people do this all the time. And people think, oh, they're just so nice. I'm like, that's not nice. That's them setting the stage. So be careful about that. That's the price you pay.
So I get what you're saying. I was going deeper into more like prestige, how much money you bring in, like revenue generation. Does that shield unethical behavior?
Yes.
I think it does.
Yes.
Right.
But that's no, I agree with you. That I'm saying even on the micro,
Right.
People, if people gonna do it with Olive Garden, they definitely gonna do it for millions of dollars
With gallbladders and transplants. And
yeah, that's the price you pay. You want me to work here and bring you lots of money in my bariatric whatever, or my cardiac whatever, or my stroke center, or my whatever it is,
just
my
keep
neuro.
Keep it in OB.
My neuro, OB doesn't make money.
You're struggling.
OB doesn't make money.
You're struggling with the other stuff though. Keep
OB
it
doesn't
in
make
OB.
money.
Don't they have like fertility or something like that?
No, OB doesn't make money.
Fertility don't make money?
No, not for hospitals. How does fertility make money for hospitals? No, they don't make money. OB does. Everybody knows OB doesn't make money. But the other ones do. My cardiac, my neuro, my stroke, all these other things make money, right? So
I think a big issue is reporting. Reporting mechanisms are really bad in medicine. So there is no reporting mechanism in music, right? But in medicine, there is no like you. Wait, is that correct? Because I was writing and I was like, I had to ask you that. Like, are there anonymous ways that you can report bad behavior, raise red flags?
Well, I think most hospitals have a whistleblower policy. The question is, are people aware of the whistleblower policy?
And it just gets swept away? And
are they willing to whistleblow, right? Like, first of all, you have to be willing to whistleblow, right?
But
then you have to know the policy.
But can't you whistleblow in an anonymous manner? Right?
Most whistleblower policies allow for
anybody who's down with HR, let us know.
Of course. Right? Yeah. I mean, most whistleblower policies, I think, do allow for anonymous whistleblowing, because a lot of times I think a lot of times people get called in. Well, somebody said X, Y, and Z, and this is actually some of the problem with whistleblowing. So my sister is a union rep, and sometimes what will happen is someone will make a complaint about someone, but then they'll say, well, who made that complaint? And then they say, we can't tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, but why can't I face my accuser? Right? Because if somebody is going to accuse me, I should be able to face my accuser. So
that is another issue, because when you talk about power dynamics.
Right. So
if one person has a lot to lose and another person doesn't have too much to lose, does uncovering who you are put you at a disadvantage?
I don't know, but someone should actually have the right to face their accuser. So should a whistleblower always be anonymous?
See,
I don't know
that was a really good point you came back with.
Yeah.
Because I've been coming up with all the points. That was a really good one.
Okay. You need validation?
How about the hero culture? Doctors are seen as untouchable saviors. Is this true? Which makes ethical scrutiny taboo.
I'm going to say something.
Am I making stuff up?
I'm going to say
maybe I was getting a little too high on my own supply with this one.
I'm gonna say something.
What you gonna say?
That's a little bit controversial. It's gonna be a little bit.
Let me finish this. Let me land first.
Go ahead.
Let me land first. So what I was basically going around saying is, hospitals are businesses, just like the music industry is, just like the entertainment is. Ethics is expensive. Right? And
having ethics.
Silence becomes the currency of survival. Oh shit! I'm on one. Is that good?
You on one?
Oh shit! Right? You like
that? You should write a book.
I should. Guys, what y'all think about that one? But no, seriously, like, they're businesses. They got to keep things going. They need that surgeon to kind of keep stuff going through the door.
Yeah.
You ain't got time for all this ethics and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I mean.
You know how many gallbladders this person's putting out?
Exactly.
You know how many total joints? What?
Yeah. I mean, but that's essentially, these are the conversations that are being had, right? That, well.
Why are you laughing at my jokes when I know you.
What?
You don't think my jokes are funny.
If I didn't think they were funny, I wouldn't laugh.
Lies. Anyway, go ahead. You finish your point. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, these are the conversations that are being had. But back to the whole doctors are heroes. And I want to say something that's a little controversial that I've been thinking for a very long time, for at least 5 years.
You don't have hot takes, but go ahead.
And that is that whole pandemic imagery with the doctor in the superhero stance with the cape against the virus drove me nuts.
It was good propaganda.
I hated that.
Why did you hate it?
I hated the notion of doctors are heroes. I didn't like that.
Why?
At all.
I'm asking you direct questions. Why?
I wasn't comfortable with that because I did not see myself as a hero. Yeah. Wait, hold on. I did not see myself as a hero.
Can I say something?
Can
I say something?
What?
Nothing. Forget it. Keep
going. Say it.
Go ahead.
Say what you're gonna say.
No, go ahead. It's just not. It's not gonna land right.
Okay. Anyway, I just saw that.
Who was asking OB to come in?
What are you talking about? We had plenty of COVID patients
in the pandemic.
Yes, we had plenty of COVID patients. I had patients in the ICU. What are you talking about? So, okay, hold on a second. Immunocompromised pregnant women don't get COVID, according to Dr. Nee. Put it out there. Make it go viral.
Why is your trigger? Why are you so easily triggered? Today you've been really triggered.
Yes, because you're saying nonsense. What are you talking about? Who asked OB to come in? You think we didn't have patients in the ICU too?
But then who took care of them in the ICU?
We took care of them alongside the hospitalist.
Doing what?
First of all, don't even start because everybody's scared of pregnant patients. Everybody. Every time the patient.
Trauma isn't.
Trauma
isn't.
Yes, you are.
Trauma ain't.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Don't even play. Soon as, we got a pregnant patient coming and she blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you don't actually need me until you completely clear this patient. So I don't even know why I have to know that this patient is coming before she hits the door.
Because before I go to CT,
thank you.
I need to know that we got some fetal heart tones before I go to CT.
For what? If she doesn't, then what you gonna do?
You gonna have to step in
and do what?
Do your thing.
She needs to be stabilized. What are you talking about?
We don't go to CT unless they're stabilized.
Okay.
We don't go to CT.
Exactly. So then, if you're taking her to CT,
no, she's stabilized.
Exactly.
We talking about the baby. That's what we need y'all for.
Yeah, whatever, Nee.
Look
whatever.
at her. You see how she backing up? But go ahead and land. I'm gonna let you land. Go finish your point. Finish your point.
Anyway.
Yeah, you super triggered today. I love this part.
Whatever. Trauma is scared of OB, just like everybody else.
When Renee's triggered on the show is really great, guys. Right in. What y'all think? Go ahead.
Shut up, Nee. Anyway, I just was uncomfortable with that imagery. I just feel like, we went in, we did what we were trained to do. And yes, was it much more than we had ever done before? Absolutely. It was much more than we had ever done before. But
those H&Ps was crazy, right?
Everything was crazy. Everything was crazy, right? Certainly the people who were in the ICU definitely got the brunt of it. But I still don't think that the hero imagery is one that we want out there, because the reality is, if you're starting to say that doctors are heroes, then it becomes this kind of savior complex. And you know me, especially when we go to Ghana and do all, our medical missions, I am not about the savior complex at all. Have there been times when a patient's at the brink of death or a baby looks like they're about to crash and you essentially either save the mother's life or you intervene so that baby doesn't die? Absolutely. But I don't think that makes you a hero. I think that makes you well trained at what you do, and that makes you the doctor that you always wanted to be. So that might be a little controversial for people, because I know that many of our audience probably did put up, their Instagram posts, Facebook posts with the imagery and stuff like that.
That's not controversial.
I think it might be, because some people really do feel like, no, we were heroes in that.
Dr. Renee, thank you for sharing that. That was a bit anticlimactic, but I will finish this. I will finish this off by saying,
tell me if it was anticlimactic. Tell me if you disagree with me.
It was anticlimactic.
Tell me if you
because you set the stage to talk about something that, like.
Tell me if you disagree with me, audience members.
Disagree of what? Disagree of what?
That the imagery of doctors being heroes during the pandemic was overkill. Overkill.
Okay, but we agree with that. But what we're saying is,
no, you agree with that.
No, you're trying to say I got this controversial take. Everybody, y'all gonna kill me on social media and all this. Ain't nobody gonna kill. I
didn't say all of that. I said I was saying something that's a little controversial. That's all. You wanted to hype it up, and for whatever reason, you went to hype it up, and you didn't know what it was about. So now you thinking it's gonna be up here when it was really just in the middle. Like, I don't get it. You disappointed yourself. You did it to yourself.
So where do we go from here? Where are we going from here? Dr. Renee, what are we going to learn from
I don't know. Look at your notes.
Oh, damn. I am going to look at my notes. So I say you got to speak up when it's safe. Right? Because you know me, I like to keep it real. I don't like to say, we all need to just step up and start speaking up, because there's going to be a lot of people. It's like the 100 men versus the one gorilla? It's like, who's going to go first? Like, I'm jumping in when 10 people got one arm, 10 people got the other arm. Someone's got the mouth. Then I'm going to jump in, but I'm not going to go in first. Right? So basically what I'm saying is you got to speak up when it's safe, right? Like, there's got to be more anonymized. Why are you laughing?
Because I don't even see you jumping in at 10 men. I see you jumping in at a good 50.
I just said 10 on each quadrant.
Oh, okay. 10 on each.
10 on each quadrant.
Okay.
And I do believe 100 men can take out a gorilla. I don't know why people are like, this is stupid. 100 men can't take out a gorilla? This is the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. A gorilla is not that strong. 100 men.
What about King Kong? Maybe they're talking about that gorilla.
That bullshit. I just saw that. What's that? King Kong versus Godzilla bullshit.
That was so horrible.
Whack, yo. Whack.
It was horrible.
But I'll leave it to you like this, yo. We got to speak up more, but there's got to be systems, I think, that help when people speak up that, hey, like things have to get investigated. You got to anonymize some things. I do see that. I do agree with what you're saying, that when you am I saying it right?
Anonymize.
When you anonymize things, though, sometimes it could be used against you in a bad way. So you got to be careful about that.
Yeah, people can make up stuff, and then now you don't even know like in what context things were said, and so.
I mean, but the other thing too is like how you are individually. How do you mentor, right? How do you basically like what do you display on rounds that you think medical students, pre-meds, residents can take on, so that when they are at that point, they're doing the same thing. Like, I mean, I'm at a point right now. I don't even touch anybody, right? Because it could be misconstrued as anything. Like, you know how normally we're like, hey, how's it going? Da, 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 da. I don't do any of that stuff, right? Obviously, you know, I'm examining the patient and things like that. But to my colleagues, to people who are on my team, I don't even touch them and stuff. But I make sure like any like innuendo, any of those things,
Cut it out.
you gotta cut it.
Cut it.
Right.
I was watching a.
How you know it was done?
No, I'm speaking to this point. I was watching an Instagram post on. She's an attending now, but she talks about when she was a resident that she had another resident who their ophthalmology who had broken his leg and was not able to operate. He wasn't able to operate. And so she was walking with her medical student and stuff like that. And she was kind of bummed out because her co-resident couldn't operate. She had to take, you know, some of his responsibilities. And she was kind of bummed out about it. And she's like, yeah, I know he broke his leg, but she's like, nah, I have to take all of these things and whatever. I have to operate. And, you know, because he's not able to operate because he broke his leg. And she said she got called in by her, I think, program director or whoever. The medical student reported her for being ableist, basically saying, well, she said that disabled people can't operate. Whatever.
Oh, God. Jesus Christ.
And I'm like, have we really gone there? Like, have we gone there? I'll put that in the show notes for you guys, Alfred. I'll send you that also. But have we gone there?
Yeah. Let me do a call to action because I get what you're saying. So my call to action is anybody who's listening, have you ever seen something unethical in medicine that was swept under the rug? I want you guys to share that with us. We don't necessarily have to talk. You don't have to share it and then we have to talk about it, but I'm really interested. And the next question I have after that is, did you speak up? If you didn't, why not? I'm very interested in that. This is not an indictment.
No.
Just very,
I mean, there are plenty of reasons not to speak up. You know, there are reasons to speak up and then there are reasons not to speak up. You know, I don't necessarily think that people need to put themselves in harm's way, you know, but at the same time, there are people who feel like, no, I'm going to take, you know, whatever happens, good or bad, and put myself in harm's way if that's what that means. I don't think that that's wrong. I don't think either side is wrong, you know? I do think that it is wrong when you don't have something to lose and you don't say something. Mm-hmm. That I think is wrong, right? If there's no power dynamic, I do think it's wrong. And I think that there are sometimes like colleagues, like equal colleagues, where there is no power dynamic, yet you don't want to be that doc who says something.
Yeah, I think so, guys. Like when you hear us talk about the Diddy trial, look, whether we talking about Cosby, whether we talking about Weinstein, whether we talking about I don't know who else is out there. What's the guy, Spacey?
Kevin Spacey.
Listen, this is basically an indictment on the entertainment business, and in essence, like there's the same issues that you see in medicine, right? Mm-hmm. Like these are bigger than the individuals that we're talking about. It's the whole system. So I think in general, like we have to be prepared to, in essence, kind of be our own police, because there's no checks and balances, so to speak.
But I think so. I always have a problem when people just say it's the system, because the system doesn't exist without the individuals. There is no system. There's no such thing as, right? There's no such thing as a system that just exists, because it only exists in the execution of what each individual does. And when you have a mass number of individuals who execute in a very specific way, unethically, then that is the system. It is a collective of these individuals. So I do think it's the individuals.
But if the system doesn't root them out, if the system
They are the system.
If the system tolerates them, no. The system is are we in the healthcare system?
Yes.
Okay. And is part of the healthcare system really really dope doctors like you who exist out there?
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
is the healthcare system also docs who may do what we just talked about?
Yes, absolutely.
That is the system. The system has its highs and the system has its lows.
I know, but what I'm saying is that
ultimately the system tolerates what it tolerates.
But that's what I'm saying. And it only tolerates it based on the execution of the individuals in the system. Right? The system doesn't exist. You can't create the system. The healthcare system doesn't exist without the individuals. I mean, you could put a hospital, you could put equipment, you could put whatever. That's not going to give you a system. What is going to give you a system is hospital administrators, government, dope doctors like you, me, and our audience.
I'm not
right?
dope.
Patients, all kinds of things. All of that is the system. Equipment doesn't necessarily make up the system. It's the people and how they execute. That's what it is. So,
well, I think we have kind of circled this topic enough. What do you think?
Sure. All right, I think it's time to talk about our next topic. We're going to be talking about a doc who makes more money on TikTok than she does being a doctor. So make sure you tune in for that.